Guys, I want to welcome you all to the Billionaire Boss Empire. So glad you guys were able to be here and join us this morning, bright and early. Hope everybody is having an amazing day. Okay, yes, yes. Choose to be happy. Choose to have an amazing day. It is your choice. All right. So, you guys know that the first thing you do is when you get started in the morning, when you get up or wherever you are, start your day with your I am affirmations. 15 or more I am affirmations. What are you speaking over yourself? Okay. Stay positive. Stay in control. Stay being your choice. All right. So here at the Billionaire Boss Empire, we say, I am a master trader, and with every trade, my balance grows. I am a master recruiter, and like minded individuals are drawn to me. Yes. Now let's go ahead and get into this food for thought for today. The past cannot be changed. You can't go back in time and change anything. You can't. That's just the way of life. That's the facts. The future is yet in your power. So that means you can't do anything about anything that has happened in your past. What's in your past is in your past. It's done. But what you do have control over is your future. You have control over your now, your right now. And by you getting up this early in the morning and saying, I'm going to learn how to trade, I'm going to learn how to be a beast of a master trader, you are taking your future and destiny into your control. And you are saying, I am going to make it. And I am not going to allow my past to deter me. I'm not going to allow my past to dictate my future because the past cannot be changed. But what are you going to do with your future? What are you going to do with your right now? Now that is your food for thought for today. Okay? All right, remember. I am a master trader, and with every trade, my balance grows. I am a master recruiter, and like-minded individuals are drawn to me. Be careful. There is power in the tongue. What are you speaking over yourself? What are you allowing others to speak over you? Guard your ear gate. Don't allow any negativity to be entered into you by anybody else, including yourself. Don't allow any negativity to enter in because it affects you. It affects who you're going to be. Remember, I am are the two most powerful words in the world because whatever you say after I am is going to shape your reality. So what future are you shaping for yourself by what you are speaking over yourself? Okay, so now let's get on to the news. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Shouldn't change because I had just did. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure, guys, remember when you're in forexfactory.com throughout the day, you should be looking at this to make sure that you know what's going on in the news. Okay. No worries. Good morning. Good morning. Glad everyone is here. Okay. So you need to know what is going on in the news because it can affect your trade. So throughout the day, they can actually add information in here that could affect the way your trade is going. So you always want to keep it refreshed just to make sure that nothing has been added. And you want to make sure that you're watching the news. And I'm not talking about your local news. We don't watch the local news. The local news has one purpose, and that is not ours. What we're talking about is like Bloomberg. What is going on in the market? That's what we need to know, because we are master traders. So we need to know what can affect our trades. So we see not until 8:30 this morning, the USD has 2 orange folders. Now, orange folders are not as high as impact. Orange folders mean proceed with caution. So if you are in a trade at 8:30 this morning with the USD currency pair, you want to be careful with your trade. You want to make sure. All right, checking something here. You want to make sure that whatever trade that you're in, that it's still going to continue to go in the direction that it's going in. You might want to be careful and be ready to get out. Remember, the red folders, those are the ones that have a high impact, and those mean stop, pause. You may need to exit your trade quickly if it has a red folder during that time, or you may not even want to get into it during that time until you see for sure which direction it's going to go in. All right, so the first one that we are going to take a look at this morning is gold. All right, there it is. Yep, doing exactly. Okay, so gold was running away. All right, it went into a sale, then it turned and went into a buy. And what we do is, right now we're on the 15-minute. We look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is turning. Now that green has not crossed the red, but it's turning. Okay, it looks like it's getting ready to go sideways. Actually, the 4 hour. Let me bring it down so you guys can see, because it's all stretched out. Okay, the 4 hour is in a buy, but it's turning because it had some strong pullback. All right, so let's go back to the 15 minutes. So what we know from looking at our time frame confluence, okay, so we looked at a 1 hour, we looked at the 4 hour, okay, so we know that the overall trend of the market is in a buy, but it's going through some strong pullback. If I were to, let me stretch my candles back out. Remember, we use the Heikin-Ashi candle so that we can see the trend of the market. When I come down here, hold my left click and move it over, you can see by the trend, you can see by the candles that it has been in a strong uptrend, so that we know the overall trend of the market is in a buy. So it's in a buy right now, but it definitely has some pullback going on. All right, so it did this. It came up, it hit that support and resistance line, and it did not push through. It did not have enough momentum to push through. And now it is coming back down. So let's take a look at the stochastic. Remember, the stochastic tells the story. The stochastic says, once upon a time. I'm going to do this, left click, hold, drag it up so you can see it a little better. The stochastic says once upon a time. So whatever happens, it's going to happen in the stochastic first. So we can see that stochastic has that downward momentum. So we know it is getting ready to go in a downtrend. Okay, that stochastic is up above the 80, and there it is making its turn. So we would wait before we got into this trade, because what we do is we look at the alligator. When the green crosses the red, that's when we get into the trade. Okay, and then when it crosses the blue, we say, you know what to do. You ride that alligator mouth out. So the alligator mouth is really still open, but it's going through pullback right now. So unless you have enough in your account balance that would be able to hold and support through this pullback, you're going to want to wait. Wait, allow it to do whatever it's going to do before you get into this trade. So We may come back and look at gold a little bit later. Let's see. I'm going to take a quick look at the US 30. Okay. Is turning into a buy. The 1 hour is in a buy. It's actually getting ready to go sideways. Okay. And what's that? 4 hour stretched out. Let me bring it back down. All right. The 4 hour is in a nice strong buy, but those candles are confused. Okay. They're wicked out. So we wouldn't get in it just yet. We would actually wait and see what it's going to do. All right. So here are our currency pairs. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the stochastic is in an upward momentum. The green has just crossed the red. It's approaching the blue. This is going into a buy. So let's see what our time frame confluence is saying. All right. The 1 hour is actually going sideways. The 4 hour is in a nice strong buy. Okay, so we know that when we look at this right here, and this is what the 1 hour is doing right here, this sideways. But we know that the trend of the overall market is in a buy. So we can actually get us some pips off this GBP USD. Look at the stochastic. All right, let's pull it back. And we are going to lay down some support and resistance lines so we can see where it's going to be heading to. Okay, there's actually one there that we've laid down previously, but let's see if there's another one before that. Well, okay. That actually might be, yep. All right, that's our spot. That's our spot. That previous support and resistance line that we had already laid down before is going to be our go-to area. Trying to stretch this back out so that you guys can see. All right, move this back down. All right, so let's see how many pips that is. All right, so from here, I'm going to lay my ruler down. I'm going to come over a little bit. Well, it didn't do it. Let's try it again. There we go. Lay it down. Come up to the support and resistance line. And that is actually 55.7. Okay, so we can actually get a take profit 1 and 2 out of this right here. All right, so we're going to actually be doing a pending order. Okay, so we're going to do a market execution, but we're also going to be doing a pending order as well. Okay, so remember, we use our PSARs to let us know where we want to place our stop loss. Okay, the PSAR is the reversal in the market, and more than likely, if there happens to be some pullback, it is not going to go beyond that PSAR. It's not going to go beyond unless the market flips and goes into a complete sale. All right, so let's do this. Remember, we look at the first or the second PSAR as far as placing our stop loss, whichever one you are more comfortable with. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to grab a line, I'm going to turn it red to signify my stop loss, and then I'm going to put it up under the, well, there's the other candle just formed, and it is now crossing the blue. So we're going to do a market execution, and this is going to be our stop loss. So I'm going to go to my MetaTrader 4. Do I have, yep, I got GBP USD right here. I'm going to go new order, and I'm going to do a market execution for a buy. Remember your lot size. needs to be comparable for your account balance. Okay, remember we look at the we look at how much you start your account balance with. Are you growing your account balance by 10%, by 20%? What is your account balance right now? And then over here are the suggested lot sizes that you should be using for your account balance. And then this right here is the profit goal for the day. So if you have, if you have less than $600, more than $500, then you are looking at a lot size of 0.05 and you're looking to gain 98 pips. All right. That's how that works. Remember, this is located in the Billionaire Boss Empire Telegram group. And if you need a copy, let me know. All right, so we're in for market execution. Remember, do not be afraid of the pullback because your lot size is comparable for your account balance. So you are not worried about the pullback. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move, I'm left click, hold it down so I can move it over and I can see my trading view behind it because this is where my stop loss is. All right, so I've got my trade down here running. I'm going to double click and what's going to come up is the trade order for me to work with. Now, the type, you want to make sure that it is not, you don't want to enter another trade. Okay, so you don't want another market execution. So you're going to select the drop down. You want to modify your order. Okay, so you click modify order. This right here is what's currently running. Down here, this is your modify order box. This is where you're going to make your changes. So I'm going to come over here where it says stop loss. I'm going to select that box. And this number right here is the number that I'm entering in for my stop loss. So I'm going to say 1.30170. Now the zero is already there at the end, so I don't have to enter it in again. But that decimal point is very important. If you don't push the decimal point, then it is not going to be the actual number that you want it to be. So I'm going to select right here to modify. And there's my stop loss right below that first PSAR. Now, this is what we can do. Let me move the MetaTrader 4 back over into view. All right, so we can see everything. Now, when I hover over my stop loss, that lets me know that I am 47.1 pips away from my entry point. Okay. And I can actually get that stop loss a little closer to the PSAR if I wanted to. So if I want to move it, I can hover over my stop loss, left click, hold it down, and then I can move it. Okay, so I can move it up a little closer. But this is what you want to do. Every time a new candle forms, you want to make sure that you're following your stop loss behind that PSAR. So if you're using the second PSAR, then your stop loss is going to be down here. So the first or second PSAR are the ones that we're looking at to place our stop loss. Okay, so first PSAR, first candle. Second PSAR, second candle. This is what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to move mine back up. All right. Now, this is the very, very important piece right here. You do not have to set a take profit, okay? You don't have to set a take profit because you guys know what we do is we ride the alligator. As long as the alligator is eating, so are we. But you must always, always set a stop loss. Okay? Never, ever, ever place a trade without a stop loss, because if something happens in the market and it spikes in the opposite direction, you don't want to end up blowing your account. You want to make sure that your stop loss is going to take you out so that it doesn't blow your account. And that's another point in making sure that the lot size that you're using is comparable for your account balance. Okay? Because that pullback won't blow your account if your lot size is not too high. Okay. Let's see. So when we hover, we see that it's, okay, so I moved it. So mine is 45.7 pips away from my entry point. And because of my lot size, when it hits that stop loss, that'll be a negative $457. Now, because we know that we can actually put in another area, let me bring this down. Okay, we can come back to, come back to our trading view and see where we want to place our take profit. Now, we went ahead and did a market execution, and then we can come back and make the changes that we want to make, because you want to move quickly. You want to get this down quickly so that because every minute that you wait, that's money that you're losing out on because you're not entering the trade. So the longer it takes you to enter into a trade, the more money that you're actually losing. So you want to do it quickly. You can go ahead and enter a market execution and then go back and modify your order. Okay, so let me bring down, there it is. That's what I'm looking for right there. All right, so come over here and get my ruler, and I'm going to just put it down right here. I know that's not exactly where we are, but we want to do 20 pips. Let me do this right here. Come up here, I'm gonna grab a line. I'm gonna turn it green because that's going to represent my take profit. And then I'm using my crosshair. Okay, see the line going across? I'm using my crosshair, laying it right on top of that, right here, right on top of the arrow, and lay it down. Okay, so now this number here is going to represent my take profit. So I'm going to come back to my MetaTrader 4. I'm going to move it over so that I can see my trading view in the back. And then once again, I'm going to double click on my trade and let's see what comes up this time. Okay, market execution again. Sometimes when you double click on it, it will come up with modify order. And sometimes it's going to come up market execution. So you always want to make sure that you're paying attention to what the type is so that you don't accidentally put in a trade that you're not wanting to put in. Okay. So I'm going to go to modify order. And as you can see, this is what's running. So here's the stop loss that I've already set, but I don't have a take profit. So now I'm going to come down here to my take profit box because this is in my modify order box. Come into my take profit box, and this is the number that I'm going to enter in. So watch how the cursor jumps across the decimal point once I press it. So 1 decimal point, so you actually have to press it, 3 0 803. Okay, and then I'm going to select modify. Okay, now let me bring this up and over because I do want you to see what's going on. Okay, so we can see that the stochastic, let me move this up. The stochastic is up above the 75 and the 82, and it's starting to turn. So we know at that point This is the overbought, prepare to sell line. This is the highest point, prepare to sell line. So we know they have overbought. It's going to come back. You're going to experience pullback. It's okay. Don't be afraid of the pullback. It has to happen. All right. Let's see. So we know that that is what it's getting ready to do. So we're going to let it do what it does. Now, once I hover over the take profit line, it lets me know I am 16.2 pips away. And it's going to let me know that that would gain me $162 because of my lot size. Okay. And let's see. Now, here is why you don't necessarily have to set a take profit. We know that we can hover over that stop loss. There's the box, pops up. I'm going to right click. Now, you can either cancel your stop loss, which you do not want to do. You can modify your order. You can close it. Or, yes, you can set a trailing stop loss. Okay, so the 15 points, remember, pips is points in percentage. So the 15 points would convert to 1.5 pips. So that'll be 1.5 pips. 2 points converts to 2 pips. Okay, so it just really depends on how close you want your stop loss to follow the price point. So if you were to set a trailing stop loss, this is what we would be looking at. This is what would happen. Okay, so you would have, okay, so say for instance, you're in the trade, it's in a sale, and you've got your stop loss above your first or second PSAR. You have your trailing stop loss set. So you have set it for 15 points. Remember, 15 points is going to be 1.5 pips. So you can see we have our counter, our pip counter up here in the corner. Lets us know where that current price point is. Well, as soon as that price point runs into that 1.5, which is where you'd have your trailing stop loss set, then it's going to activate. So your stop loss is no longer up here. It actually jumped down and it is going to follow the current price point, 1.5 pips. So if that price point retracts and starts moving back, it will close your trade, but it's actually going to close your trade in profit. So you're not going to lose any money. It's going to close you out, but it's going to close you out in profit. So that is the benefit of having a trailing stop loss, and that way you don't have to set a take profit. Just let your trailing stop loss just follow that price point and continue to gain money. All right. Now let's see. Okay, so we spoke about the pips. Okay, the points in percentage. So a pip measures the amount of change in the exchange rate for a currency pair, and it's calculated using the last decimal point. Now, since most major currency pairs are priced to 4 decimal places, the smallest change is that of the last decimal point, which is equivalent to 1/100th of 1%. So for currency pairs displayed with 4 decimal places, 1 pip is going to equal 0.0001. Okay, that is 1 pip. Now the yen-based currency pairs, they're an exception. They are displayed with 2 decimal places. So for them, 1 pip is going to equal 0.01. Okay, So here's what we're talking about. When we're setting a trailing stop loss, that 1 point is 0.1 pips. So if you want to set a trailing stop loss on 10 pips, then you have to choose 100 points. So that means that that trailing stop loss will follow that current price point 10 pips. It'll be behind it 10 pips. So when we choose the 15 points, that's equal to 1.5 pips. And then there are some currency pairs that will allow 5 points. And that 5 point is equal to 0.5 pips. Okay? All right. Now, as you guys can see, this right here is the pipette. So here are your pips. This is the pips. This is a basic currency pair. Okay, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. But then you've got another little tiny number. That's the pipette. All right. Now, what the pipette does is it allows you to do what? Understand that spread, how far that spread is. Okay, so this is the spread. When you buy an asset, there has to be someone on the other end willing to sell you that asset, right? And likewise, when you sell an asset, there has to be someone on the other end willing to purchase that asset from you. So the lowest price that a seller will sell a given asset to you is referred to as the ask price. The highest price that a buyer will purchase a given asset from you is referred to as the bid price. Now, the spread is the difference between the bid and the ask price at any given time. So when you're entering a trade, you will have to pay this difference to your broker, which means you will always start your trade off in the negative. So that's why I say, don't be afraid of the pullback. Don't be afraid. Oh no, I got into this trade and now it's in the negative already. It's going to be in the negative. Don't worry. It's okay. And the spread is naturally always changing. So it's advantageous of you to keep an eye on it before entering a trade so that you can avoid any unnecessary fees or losses. Okay, so let me pull back up. Let's see. It's Trading View, MetaTrader 4. All right, so when we look at our at the trade here in the box, or better yet, over here, let me see. Here's a bid price. Here's the ask price. Okay, bid, ask. And then what we're looking at, if you see that little number, that's the pipette. That's your spread. That's all. It's not major, but it is something that you want to keep an eye on, that you want to pay attention to, and it's okay. All right, let's see. Okay, let's go back. And we are actually now going to put in a pending order. So I'm going to go back to the GBP USD on my trading view. Okay, here's my take profit. And I'm going to come over here to my ruler. I'm going to place it down here on the line, come up, bring that arrow up to the other line. I want to bring it over so I can actually see it. All right, and that is actually 37.3 pips. Okay, so this is what we can do. When we're doing our pending order, let's see, bring this up. Okay, so when you're doing a pending order, your at price okay, also known the price you want your order to activate, that will be the take profit one from your previous order, if that's what you want to do. If you want to give it a little leeway, then you can set it to be after that, okay? But you're going to set your stop loss to the previous stop loss, just make sure that you monitor your stop loss. Okay, you should be monitoring that. All right, so let's go ahead and go back. All right, let's see. So if you wanted to, have enough momentum to push through, make sure it's going to keep going, then you don't have to start it here. You can set it at another price point. That's completely up to you. So here we go. We're going to go back to our MetaTrader 4. And we're going to do a new order. This time, our type is going to be a pending order. Okay? We're doing a pending order now. And remember, remember, this is what you are looking for when you're doing a pending order, okay? To place a buy stop, that means it's in a buy, it's going to go to a certain price point and it's going to keep going. If you place a sale stop, then you're saying it's in a sale, it's going to get to a certain price point and it's going to keep going. Buy limit is the opposite. It's in a sale, it's going to reach a certain price point, turn around and go into a buy. The sale limit, it's in a buy, it's going to reach a certain price point, turn around and go into a sale. Now these are the buy limit and the sale limit. You're going to see more of those when you're looking at the double tops, the double bottoms, okay, which is also known as the M's and the W's. All right. So what we're looking at, we're in a buy and we're expecting it to keep going. So our pending order we're looking to place is going to be a buy stop. That is what we're looking at placing. Okay, so right here, here's your type. A buy stop is what we're looking to place. And where we want it to go, here's our at price. So this is where we want it to activate. We're going to come right here. And then here's our previous trade. Here's our trade that we have running currently. So what we're going to do is we're looking at the take profit price from our previous order to be the order where we have our next trade start. So that's going to be my at price, is my take profit from my previous order. So that's going to be 1.30803. Okay, and then my stop loss up here, I'm going to select my stop loss. My stop loss is going to be my previous stop loss. But remember what I'm doing, I'm going to monitor my trade and I'm going to make sure that that stop loss stays behind that first or second PSAR. So my stop loss is going to be this number right here, 1.30184. Okay. And then, let's see, I'm going to move over. Let's see, let me go ahead and place it because you know what, I didn't, all right. I didn't say where, yeah, we can do that one. Okay, so this right here is going to be our take profit too. So let me pull my trade back up. All right, I'm moving it over so that I can see where I want my take profit. Okay, so Here's my trade. It's down here waiting to be activated. I'm going to double click it. Modify order. Modify order came up this time. So market execution didn't come up this time. Now modify order came up. So you always want to make sure that you're checking and make sure that it's what you want it to be. Make sure that type is where you want it. Okay, so here's my take profit in my modify order box. So I'm going to come here, and this is going to be my take profit number. So 1.31179. And then I'm going to modify. Okay, so this is my take profit 1, but it's also my entry point for my second trade. Here is my take profit 2, which is 16. Let me see. Second. There we go. Okay. All right. So this is my take profit 2, which is 37.6 pips away. Okay. Now, the reason why, and this is a good example, the reason why we make sure that our stop loss is below the first or second PSAR is when it's doing this pullback like this, more than likely, like I said, it will not go beyond these PSARs unless the market flips. So unless this PSAR, because see right now with the PSAR on the bottom, this is in a buy. PSARs on the bottom means it's a buy. The PSARs show the reversal in the market. So if the market reverses and this PSAR flips up to the top, then now it's moved into a sale. And it could very well hit the stop loss at that point because that PSAR is no longer there. Now it's at the top. All right, so let's see. Okay. That's what I did. All right, so there's the stop loss. And okay. All right. Now, also what I want you guys to see with the MetaTrader 4. All right. I'm going to minimize this so you guys can see because I want your eyes right over here. Okay. So this is the order for the take profit. This is the order. When I hover over this line, I can see that I'm at 37.6 pips because it's not going to show the point in this box right here. It's not going to show the point. So that's not 376 pips, that's 37.6. So when I hover over this box and left click, I can move. And as you can see right here, it's showing you how much you would gain in profit, the number of pips you're going to have. So if I wanted 40 pips, let's see, about as close as I can get. All right, I would move it to right there, and that's going to get me 40.2 pips. Okay, if I wanted less pips, I can drag it. So I'm left click, hold it down, drag it, and let's see, about right there is 20.5 pips. Okay, so it is completely, up to you. If you want to change it, you want to see exactly what you're going to achieve, what you're going to get, what you're going to gain, you're going to be able to see it right here. Okay, so I'm going to put it back. Double click. And my take profit, I'm going to come here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. All right, so 31179. All right, modify, and now it's back to 37.6 pips. All right. Okay, so that is GBP USD. I'm going to move that back over here. And then we're going to go back to our trading view. And let's take a look at EUR USD. Now, does anybody have a currency pair that you'd like me to look at? Let's see. Now I'm looking at EUR USD. That is actually going sideways. So we wouldn't do that one. The 1 hour is in a sale. And the 4 hour is in a buy, but it's turning into a sale. So we would let that one continue to do what it's going to do. We wouldn't enter that trade just yet. This is right here is what we call confusion with the candles being wicked out. Got wicks coming out of both ends. So we would definitely wait on that one. Look at NZD USD. Nice strong buy. Let's see what our time frame confluence has. The 1 hour has it in a buy, just crossed over the green and the blue. Let's see, the green just crossed over the red and the blue. The 4 hour is also in a nice strong buy. All right, so this NZD USD is actually also in a buy. So that's the current trend right now. Now, here's the thing. Although this is a buy, this is going into a buy, and this is actually a good a good teaching moment right here as well. Okay, so it's currently in the buy, but this right here is when the green crossed the red. And that was midnight. Yep. So as you can see, when the green crossed the red, it was this candle right here. Well, if you come all the way down, you will see that is the 13th of October, 0000. That's military time. All right. Thank you, Danielle. We'll check that one out, the Euro NZD. All right. So that means this one has been in a buy for a while. So see how the stochastic is up above the 80 and it's starting to make its turn. Then that candle is starting to get smaller. We wouldn't just jump into this trade because it has been going into this buy for a while. So it could very well be getting ready to make its turn and go back into a complete sale. Let's see. Ooh, that looks good. All right, let's see. And that's why we use our Heikin-Ashi candles so that we can see the trend. I mean, this was a nice one. Oh my goodness. This was back October the 9th when it did this. All right. Let's see. And we can tell from our previous support and resistance, we can see that it has a very strong possibility of coming all the way up to here. That alligator mouth is still wide open, so it's getting ready to enter some pullback. All right, so let's see. You could do a market execution on this and just expect and know that you are going to have to deal with some pullback, or you can just wait and see what is the outcome. What is it going to do? So we are going to wait on that one. And Danielle gave us Euro NZD. So I'm going to open up another chart and look at Euro NZD. Okay, wait for it to come. All right, so still loading. All right, up here in the upper left corner, when it finishes, is where you can change your currency pair. So you select right here, and then you're going to type in EURN, and then it's going to start coming up for you. Euro NZD. So let's check it out. All right, nice downtrend. It's in a sale. Let's see, the green crossed the red here. Okay, which was like 11:30 last night. So it's been in a strong downtrend since 11:30 last night. So let's see. The 1 hour is in a nice sale. And the 4 hour is in a nice sale. Okay. So, yes, we can definitely look into getting into this for a market execution. All right, so let's go ahead and mark it up. Let's do our support and resistance. Let me see. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, turn my candles into a line. Okay, and what this is actually the moving average. Okay, I need to spread it out just a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Okay, so when I place my crosshair and I move it around, you can see it moving. So what we're looking at is, okay, this blue line right here is where the price point currently is. So we can actually see that it's heading to a support and resistance line. How can we see that? Because when we move our crosshair, we can see where it has touched that area several times. It tried to push through, but it didn't go all the way through. So right here. So what I would do is I would come, grab a line, turn it to my support and resistance line. So whatever color you choose for your support and resistance line, that's what you would choose. Okay, now I would come down here because I can see it's touched several times. I'm going to use my crosshair, line up those points, and lay it down. Okay, so this lets me see that it is at a current support and resistance. All right, and then the next one, okay, looking right here, this would be a zone. Okay, so I'm going to come up, grab another line, and then I can place it right here because I can see it touched several times here and it's touched several times here and it wasn't able to push through. Okay, I'm going to spread it back out. I'm going to turn my candles back on. All right. Okay, so we can see that it is below the 20 on the trading view. So we know that we are expecting it to go through some pullback. Our stop loss, let's see, come up here, grab a line, turn it red to represent my stop loss. And I'm looking at the first or the second PSAR. You see my crosshair moving. I'm going to lay it right behind the first PSAR. So this would be my stop loss because I'm getting into it for a sale. I would go to my MetaTrader 4. Okay. And that was Euro NZD, which, yeah, I don't have that one open. So let's see. I'm going to come over here, Euro NZD. It's right here. Highlight it, left click, drag it over. When I drop it down, it is going to replace whatever chart I have there. Unless I bring it over until I see that plus sign, and then that would add another chart. I would just come up to my template, come down to my PowerGator, and then change it to the actual setup that I have that we've selected and we've saved it as. All right. So, and it's also on the 1 hour. So you want to make sure that you want it to be on the 15-minute. Okay. So we're going to do a market execution for a sale. New order, market execution, sale by market. The trade is in. Now, Here's something else, guys. You never, ever, ever want to have too many trades running at one time. If your balance, and guys, I cannot stress this enough, if your balance cannot support two trades running into the negative at one time, guys, you can end up blowing your account. And you don't want that. So please, please, please use proper risk management. All right. So we've got our trade running. I'm going to come over, left click, hold this down so I can drag it over and see the number where I want my stop loss to be set. So I'm going to come over here to my trade that's running. I'm going to double click, and then see it's on market execution. Make sure it is on modify order, because that's what we want to do. We want to modify our trade. I'm going to come over here to stop loss, and this is going to be my stop loss number. I didn't mean to hit that. All right. This is going to be my stop loss number. So 1 decimal point 77161. Okay. And then I'm going to select. Now, this time, what we are going to do, instead of setting a take profit, we are going to set a trailing stop loss. Okay. I want you guys to see that. I want you guys to make sure that you know how to do that. Now, you guys know that sometimes I will bring up the device, the MetaTrader 4 on the device. Does anybody need to see how it's done on the device? Okay. Well, we're doing that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my stop loss line, hover over it. I need to see my box pop up. Excuse me. I'm going to right click. I'm going to come down to trailing stop. Excuse me, 1 second. Okay. Now, this is one of the currency pairs that allows the 0.5 pips. It allows half a pip, but we will select the 15 points, which is going to be 1.5 pips. So when I select that, you'll see the stop loss number down here turns yellow. So that means that my trailing stop loss is set. So what will happen is when this starts moving into profit, this stop loss is going to move. It is going to follow it. Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, guys, it is 5:58. You guys know that we stop at 6 o'clock. Does anybody have any questions about any of the trades that we put in or anything that we went over this morning? Any questions? You can post it in the chat, or you can open up your mic and ask a question if you have a question. Okay. All right. Well, guys, we are just going to allow our trades to run. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Ms. Jacqueline. I'm so glad that you were able to join us this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Mr. Kimbrough, did you want to, or are you able to close us out this morning? What do you want to do, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yes, that is a great, great session. Thank you so much, Miss Benita, once again for showing everybody how to use our strategy. But everybody, I want you all to know that as powerful as the PowerGator is, um, and you can make a whole lot of money with much like any of the other strategies that are out there. But the truth of the matter is, indicators allow you to come into the market late. The movement has started. It has already happened when your indicator kicks in. Your indicators depend on algorithms that have to wait for things to happen in the market before they kick in. I told y'all that here with the billionaire bosses, we are huge on education, really big on education, right? Um, so I'm telling you, everybody, what you need to do if you really want to understand our industry and what it is that we do and how you can maximize your profitability, you need to get into your back office and you need to get in there and get into that Epic University, get into that Candlestick Bible. That Candlestick Bible is a true trader's Bible, y'all. Get in there and read that thing, and I'm telling you, things will come. They will wake up in you that you just did not truly understand before. It's really simplistic. It's really easy, and it will help you maximize the power gator. 1 second, y'all. This thing keep on talking in my ear. Come up, there. But it will help you really make even more money with the power gator when you understand what market structure are, what market structure is, and when you understand what the different candles really mean. You know, candles tell a story. Miss Benita says it all the time. Your candles, they tell stories. And if you can read that story, if you can read that other language, then you will truly be a master trader. Now, we have a master trainer that she does her thing every morning at 5 a.m. And we're about to make sure that you get everything for the dollar that you put in. We're about to add even more value to what we already do at 5 a.m. in the morning. So I know a lot of you have not, or whatever, you haven't gotten into your back office, you haven't really studied like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to modify our 5 o'clock calls a little bit, and we are going to help you gain the knowledge you need to truly become a master trader. And in the process, we are also learning too. You are always a student. You never know everything in the market. So we are helping ourselves. Y'all, our goal is to become multimillionaires. We discussed this before we ever got into this business. And our goal is to become multimillionaires and help a lot of other people become multimillionaires on the way. So if you truly want to learn, it's hard to get of this kind of education from a lot of the other groups. you know. But here with us, with these billionaire bosses, under the umbrella of the Capital Crew, we're going to give you everything you need. There is no excuse for anybody to be left behind, and there is no excuse for you not to hit your goals or become a multimillionaire or whatever it is that you want to do. You might just want to be a thousandaire, but whatever it is that you want to do, we are going to give you everything you need in order to do that. So we really thank you for being here, getting up this morning. Um, Learning with us, trading with us. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be right here with these billionaire bosses. And I hope you continue to come. And everybody, make sure you tell somebody else about how we do it here every morning at 5 a.m. Bring somebody with you. Tell them to get on the call. And we are going to grow and climb to the top of this mountain together. That's all I have for this morning, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed, prosperous, and successful day. And don't forget, choose to be happy no matter what your situation is. Thank you.